packed all my stuff. Let's see what we can make for awesome sounds today. So here we are.
Yo, Paul.
Yo, what's up?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
De koffie?
Ja, lekker.
Gewoon deze.
Ja, als je ineens ergens zit, dan heb je natuurlijk nog wel de eigen. Alright, I'm here with Silvan.
Hello, people.
And I'm very glad to have him on board because his pedalboard looks just insane.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Paul.
Yeah, of course I heard your pedalboard before because we often jam out and space out and I've seen you play live with it. And to me it looks like a puzzle.
For a lot of people, it seems like a really big board.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it actually isn't. As you can see, doesn't fit all my pedals. Yeah, so I freak out with it. It's my my baby.
So I want one quick, insane example.
All right, let's go.
Right. So could you explain a little bit on what we see on your board and what are your favorite sounds you can get from pedals like this?
Traditional pedalboard, if that even exists, contains some types of overdrives, maybe a delay and a reverb, and
maybe a tremolo or a chorus,
compression, whatever. I like creating sounds that are not normally associated with guitar.
Yeah.
So I like pitch shifted sounds.
Okay. Pitch shift. What on these are pitch shifter?
The Hawk is
Electro-harmonics.
Electro-harmonics is a pitch shifter. The Whammy, of course, classic is a pitch shifter. Super Shifter is also a pitch shift. And the Dream Sequencer by Hologram is also a pitch shifter.
Can you give us a few examples on using pitch shifting in your sound, maybe?
Whammy, you can do all sorts of tricks. I like really the fifths, like it creates a dreamy vibe, and you can use it, for instance, with a little bit reverb. It creates like nice dreaming vibe. For instance, with the Super Shift, you can do dive bombs like tremolo. Without detuning the guitar, and it's always the same shape.
So we can have a little bit Steve Vai
action.
So with the Hawk, you can create more like organ sounds, right?
Yes, it's more like organ sounding, and
we need the expression pedal.
We need expression pedal for this.
Like it holds the chord, it freezes the chord.
It freezes the chord
until you release the expression pedal.
Exactly. You have different functions on the Hawk, and this is one of my favorites.
Sounds amazing. It's just like an organ, maybe a really mellow organ or a synth pad.
Yes.
Very mellow synth pad, dreamy sound.
And the last pedal, which also has pitch shifting stuff, is the Hologram.
Nice.
And you can also hold the notes. main goal is to use it in a musical context.
Okay.
So it has to be functional as well. I mean, it's really big and all that, but I try to keep it functional. So what I try to do is maybe make pads. For instance, I will make a pad and maybe loop it with the DL4. It's a bit off, but so now it's looped, and I can play over it maybe with some delay. It's looped, and for instance now with the one shot on the DL4 you can it makes a pattern out of it, so you can use it in a musical context. To me this is music. So this is, I think, maybe late 90s, early 2000s, and I use it mostly for looping. The reason why I like it is because it has the play once knob, so you can with this button you can make a loop, like for instance let's say but with the play once knob you can DD6 I use just making really short loops, and you can do this just by pushing, so it makes a loop of less than a second, and especially when you use the pitch shifter also you can freak out with that.
Nice.
I mean, it's not perfectly in time, but that's what I actually like. A cool tip, maybe for you guys, to have the tuner at the end of the chain.
As a safety.
As a sort of a safety button. And also, if you are at the end of a song and everybody goes crazy, and I mean, you can go like. It's done, you know. But if you don't hit the button, I mean, you know. So that's
what happens if you now press the.
So
so one thing I've been dying to ask you is, how much does playing with a pedal board like this take away from your own playing? I mean, there are only so much things you can think of. So if you have to think about the pedal board a lot, how does that affect your playing?
Yeah, well, it is true. It does affect your playing, of course, but it's trainable.
Yeah.
It's the same as when you're practicing guitar, or practicing piano, whatever. You can train it, and at a certain point, you can talk while playing guitar or eat or whatever. Yeah. And it's the same with pedals.
And how often do you trip standing on one leg?
Oh yeah, this summer I played a show, but I tripped. And I fell against the piano, but it's.
Did you hear the piano?
No. I just fell, but it was funny.
Cool, but do you know Joe Bonamessa?
Yes, of course, yes.
So I want to read something, a quote from him, because this one is about you, I think. He said, Joe Bonamessa, "I've really gotten over pedals. I can't keep up with the craze of boutique pedals that make you sound like everything but your guitar. It's insulting for people who spend 35 years of playing and learning. Look at these guys, can barely play a chord and call themselves soundscapists." What's your vision on his stance on that?
Well, you know, I respect him. I was a fan, and I got some CDs of Joe, and
you didn't burn them?
No. No, but to me, it's the same with electronics or pedals. I mean, that's a craft as well, a skill as well.
Yeah.
And
so it's like mastering guitar isn't any different from mastering the pedals.
No, And to me, I learned guitar first. I mean, Paul and I studied together, and I learned guitar first, and then I got into pedals and was really freaking out on sounds. So the last thing I want to say about it, he doesn't need to bash on other musicians because
he should be way above that, because he is so insanely good that why should he feel insulted by people who play with pedals?
Exactly.
Your vision on the digital versus analog topic.
All right. I like the digital sounds, but I love the analog sounds. I mean, I'm a really traditional guy in some sorts. I like the old Fender amps, like the tape delays. I really like the analog old sound. But I also like the newer modern sounds, like digital stuff, like the whammy, digital delays, pitch shifting shit. So the digital pedals, they tend to have a little bit high harshness.
Okay,
And with the distortion unit or with the TS9 in this case, with the tone rolled off, you can mask that a little bit. I will let you hear that.
Yeah.
So this is with.
Okay.
So it's actually also a bit more like driven, but to me it sounds more
natural. Maybe.
More natural.
Yeah, because if you have a digital unit, you run it through a very analog sounding thing, and you make it a little more like rounded off, has a little bit of a high cut and a low cut, and a mid boost, so it makes it a little more natural sounding.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea.
I got actually 4 methods that I use for making it musical.
Okay.
So one is with the DL4. So this is now soundscapey loop. It's really quick, but all right. So what I'll do is I'll hit. So the starting point is always on the 1, and that makes it, to me, it makes it more usable.
So when you loop, you don't really hold the timing into account, so you just make a space loop, and you can make it the timing with your feet afterwards. Okay.
Yeah. The most important thing is that the 1 is sort of less correct, so you can like.
Because that is always the hardest thing of live looping with a band. You can't play in time if you want to have a fixed loop, because the drummer isn't able to play on your timing. He has
exactly.
It changes around a little bit. You can't always play exactly on 105 BPM unless you have MIDI and a click with the drummer, but also that's very difficult to keep it perfect. So you just start it again.
You just started on the 1 like that, and you can use it like that. What I also do is use this compressor, the Empress compressor. It has its side chain out. Also, it is at the end of my chain, so I can.
So, a quick word for the viewers: side chaining. Maybe we've heard it, but side chain, what it basically is like you've got an external audio source, and when it hits the pedal, it makes your own guitar sound lower in volume.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. It ducks the signal.
Yeah.
And you can trigger it with, for instance, a kick drum.
So I'm his sidechain right now. So you just insert a jack into the sidechain input.
Yes.
So for instance, I'm the kick drum or I am the drum pad, whatever. So when I short the circuit, it gets an input and it ducks the signals.
Clear.
So you use this live with the drummer?
With the drummer, he got a trigger on his kick drum, and you can just put the jack in the trigger, and it gives a pulse. How do you say? It gives
an audio signal.
And then my guitar signal ducks on the.
So it really blends in with the rhythm of the drums. Nice.
Exactly.
Very interesting.
And the last method that I use is the hologram dream sequencer, and you can just use it. For instance, let's say. So random loops, and then you can, for instance. This has a tap tempo, so if the drummer is like, and you can also use like pitch shifted stuff, and it's crazy
versatile, I think.
Yeah, really cool. It has a drive. So you can also use the envelope shape to
You can create a very staccato sound or a little more mellow.
It's so insane sounds with it. You can use it just as a drive. There's a sample and hold function on it. You can create your own patterns. On a normal pedalboard there are like maybe a drive or a delay, and that sort of sounds I need as well. You know, sometimes you need a drive. So this is my main drum. It's
mellow drive.
It's mellow drive. It really fattens up the sound, and when I go really crazy, then I put on the fuzz, and then it's like. So that's also it's more like a classic rock traditional sound that I really like, and you can get a really cool, more sort of like robot-ish sound. Turn the volume halfway up.
Ah.
When you play chords.
Try one trick out, one sick trick. Maybe the hog.
The hog. Let's check out the hog.
I really like the hog. So
the hog works with expression pedal. So when the expression pedal is on, it freezes the note. It freezes the chord or the note. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
A little reverb.
Nice. It doesn't feel intuitive yet to make it back and forth between the positions. Yeah, so
It sort of gets sucked in.
Yeah.
Sort of, you know, it's.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it's just
Nice.
really nice, and especially with like verb delay on it, it's like sounds really big, and love it.
Forgot. Very nice. All right, thank you so much for watching. It was a great pleasure having you.
Thank you.
And I think we're gonna do this again with some other stuff because I see so much awesome gear here, like Space Echo. I'm dying to test the Space Echo out. It's a tape echo and lots of other cool pedals, amps, and a good player.
Thanks, man.
Cheers.
All
Bye.
right,
Thank you.
guys. Thank you.
And check out Silvan on his Instagram.
Yeah, link below.
Link in the description. Silvan van der Zweek.
Yes. All right.